Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Morning, everyone. It's 7:30 on the start of the special edition of Second Cup. Glad you're with us as we cover what is a messy morning commute all across Western New York. We've already seen this morning a number of accidents. Perhaps the most significant one was on the 90 westbound, right near the 400, where we saw a jackknife tractor trailer that was just cleared within the last 5 or so minutes, but there are delays all over the place.
So we're getting going a little bit early today because we want to let you know exactly what's going on here. So we've got a number of accidents that we've been following. Aaron's been tracking all of them for us. This is where that jackknife tractor trailer just got moved from. Right. We've been watching this thing throughout the morning.
So what's going on is another one behind it kind of stalled. So that is not the original tractor trailer. That one just stalled out in the left lane. So now they have to move that. What's fascinating is that we've been watching the 33 inbound.
Right.
And you could see, and now you can't. Yeah. So the 33 inbound visibility is close to, let's say about almost zero. Yeah, I mean, you can't sugarcoat that. And there's a view of the 90 going westbound by exit 54. You can see even some people out kind of trying to move that. I'm sure they're hooking it up to a flatbed there so they can move that with the tow truck. But at least now 2 lanes are moving, but we have huge backups on the 90 eastbound and westbound because of the weather. And then you get to the 33 inbound and it's like a parking lot there. There's the view of that's the 33. One of the lenses is kind of clogged with some snow as that snow keeps coming down.
Justine, good morning to you. Sorry, Katie, to interrupt. I'm just going to address the question here from Justine. Is SUNY Fredonia open? I have not seen anything about SUNY Fredonia, but Fredonia schools are closed today. I was just checking. That's according to our closings page on WKBW.com.
So earlier this morning, when we drove in, truthfully, like the snow wasn't falling like it is now.
No.
And I was saying earlier, not being a meteorologist, that it's coming at us almost in patches. And Aaron, that's kind of going to be the story of the day today. It's going to clear up for a little while. Then we're going to get more snow. And then those winds are going to start to pick up. And that's what's going to make things extra dangerous.
Yeah. So this cold front's passing through and now the front is passed. The winds are really going to increase. And that really is the big weather story today. So I hit this weather headlines graphic, cold front moving through this morning. And then as the day moves along, conditions will deteriorate with winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. Blowing and drifting snow will be an issue all day, through this morning, through lunchtime, and into this afternoon. Look at all the warnings and advisories. We have a blizzard warning for Erie County in Pennsylvania. So if on social media you see an Erie County one, it is for Pennsylvania. That is through early Saturday. Lake effect snow warning for Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties into northern PA through early Saturday. And then we have the lake effect snow warning from now through 4 a.m. on Friday for southern Erie County and Wyoming County. Winter weather advisories posted for the rest of Western New York. Again, for a couple more inches of snow, but the big story will be those winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. We even heard some thunder earlier today. Look at that snow as it makes its way into the area. We have the snow squalls from Buffalo to Attica, Batavia, Clarence, Lockport, and Niagara Falls.
So a couple of things of note. They've got a snow day in Batavia. We can run down a list of the closings already here this morning because they keep coming in. We're just hearing from the Sweet Home superintendent. They're staying open for now, but the superintendent will make any decisions about later in the day or early dismissals as the day goes along. I was talking to Dr. Darren Brown Hall from Williamsville earlier this morning, and he said that they're staying open.
Right.
But Buffalo, the biggest school district in Western New York, is closed today.
And then when we talked to the DPW commissioner earlier, he was like, you know what, that helps us.
Right.
Because now we don't have the buses on the road in the morning. We don't have the buses on the road in the afternoon. Want to let you know, if you go to WKBW.com/closings, you're going to get to our closings page. We've got almost 200 closings or delays right now.
And this is because of the way things look already this morning. You're seeing the traffic cameras, you're seeing the problems out on the road, and that's going to be the story today. Somebody asked me if Bryan and Stratton and Amherst is closed. Bryan and Stratton Amherst, Bryan and Stratton Buffalo, all remote learning today. So it appears that you are not getting the snow day.
Fire up the computer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We talk about that thunder snow as well. It happened about 5:20 this morning, and I caught it on camera.
Yeah, that's amazing camera that you have there.
So let's roll that, John. And I'm sure so many of you heard it as well, but if you didn't, if you were sleeping still, this is what it sounded like. Do we not have that here?
Yeah, do
Yeah,
you
it was
want me to
pretty cool.
do
Oh,
it?
maybe
No.
not. Okay, sorry. I thought we had it in. Maybe we
That's
don't.
okay. We can get it in.
We-
Somebody was asking about North Tonawanda. Want to let you know I do not see them listed on our closings yet.
You can also go to my Instagram at Dranch TV. I posted that. It was really fascinating to see. I mean,
Well, you see the flash of lightning?
exactly. And
It's
then,
just like regular thunder,
right.
but cooler.
But okay, so I guess, when you time this out, you count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Right.
Is that the same thing for snow? Like
For thunder snow?
How far away the storm
And is that like an official thing too?
Right.
Oh,
Because
it is.
we've been doing that
Actually,
yeah.
it is. Like 5 seconds
Yeah.
is a mile. So yeah, you saw that flash and then you heard that lightning very, very quickly. So
Yeah.
it was pretty close to you. The radar was showing that it was kind of more of a near in South Buffalo, more near the Tiff Nature Preserve, had several bolts of lightning strike this morning. So we had the lightning, we had the thunder snow. The snow is coming down right now. Officially at the airport, more than 6 inches of accumulation over the last 24 hours. So this snow, is on the ground, and now it was kind of like a very wet snow, easy to pack overnight. Now the temperatures are going below freezing. You're starting to see things ice up again. And now we've got that fresh snow going over that. Another accident on the 190 southbound by Porter. So we're looking at that is a very slow go into downtown Buffalo. The left lane was blocked. So it's kind of crawling no matter where you are. 33, 190 southbound, and of course the 90, even eastbound and westbound, but the 90 eastbound coming into downtown Buffalo from the 400 is moving very slowly past William.
So Karen wondering about Williamsville, Donna wondering about Cheektowaga. Williamsville School is still open. Can you give us an update about Williamsville in particular in terms of the snow, and what about Cheektowaga as well, Aaron?
Well, Cheektowaga is getting some snow right now. So is Williamsville. Winds will be blowing 30 to 50 miles per hour at times. And, it's going to be like that off and on throughout the day. So if you are in those areas, you're going to be driving very slowly. Really, if you're in anywhere in Western New York, expect a slow drive as we'll have the rapidly changing weather conditions throughout the day. Snow coming in off of Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. We also have a general snow to contend with. So you're getting the lake enhanced, lake effect, and a general snow. But the big story today, those winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. Every county in Western New York either has an advisory or a warning, and that's in effect right through early tomorrow.
Okay, so we're talking about early tomorrow. Danielle has asked us a couple times, so I just want to pull up her comment there. If you think West Seneca schools would close again tomorrow, what do you see as far as school closings again tomorrow?
I think further south of West Seneca, they have a chance to be closed tomorrow, say in Chautauqua County and Cattaraugus County yet again, as they continue to deal with lake effect snow warning that's been going on for like a week now.
Right.
So
Right,
if you're in Chautauqua County and Cattaraugus County, keep an eye on the closing sticker tomorrow. I think West Seneca will be open tomorrow. I think it's a great move to close the Buffalo schools. You see how just miserable it is this morning with traffic. Imagine all the buses and these poor kids standing outside waiting to get to school.
There's
So
a lot of kids walk too.
yeah, Buffalo has a lot more walkers. So it would just be, you don't want your son or daughter standing on the corner waiting for a bus that we hope comes, but it's probably stuck on the 33 somewhere.
And it's so slippery too, and other drivers are going around. Like, it's the safety factor there for sure.
Yes. Sorry. I'm just, I know.
No, you've been silent for a few seconds.
Sorry.
I'm worried about you. Okay?
You stopped talking. Is he okay?
I'm trying to coordinate right now. I'm trying to get Nate Martin to join us because he's Buffalo's DPW commissioner. But he's on the street right now, so he's obviously not able to join on camera. But I'm just I want to let them know that he can join and not be on camera.
And if we can go to the storyteller real quickly, they've actually.
But we can.
Oh, you can't?
We can pull up that camera.
We can pull up those cameras
okay.
through NITEC. Which camera is that?
That is the 33 by the 198.
Okay, so John, you're looking for the 33 at the 198 in NITEC. Meantime, want to let you know in the next hour or so, because we're going to stay on through 9 o'clock. We are going to have the highway superintendent from Clarence joining us, highway superintendent from Lancaster planning to join us, because these are some areas that are getting hit pretty hard, and said, listen, they've got crews out and they want to let people know what's going
33
on.
33 between the 198 and Greider's number 2 camera. That's the one that really shows the conditions in downtown Buffalo right now. Lori asking, will the winds calm down this afternoon? The quick answer is nope. Winds are actually going to increase as the day moves along. They're about 30 miles per hour. Right now, they'll be close to 40 to 50 miles per hour as we get into late this morning and especially into this afternoon. Youngstown, you're getting snow right now, Steve, up in Youngstown. You have the snow showers off and on. Only going to get about 1 to say 3 or 4 inches of accumulation there, but with the strong winds blowing that snow around, again, that is the big issue this morning. And guys, there's the 33 one to show you. crawling along. A lot of folks driving with their flashers on as you try to make your way into downtown Buffalo. I'm going to step away, do the radio for BEN Live. You have something real quick?
No, what was so interesting, so moments ago, this was one of those cameras that you could not see anything. I mean, it was so snow covered. I mean, it was a whiteout, really. But now look at the way people are driving, all with their brake lights on. So we're seeing delays all over the place. Somebody was asking, is the Skyway open? It is. As far as we know, we haven't seen any closures on the roads.
We have not heard that. I want to address Krista and both Shelby, because one is leaving to go to Toronto later this afternoon from OP. The other wants to know what's going to be like around 3 p.m. in Orchard Park. We can specifically ask Aaron when he comes back, but what he has repeatedly said throughout the morning is that the afternoon commute, starting around that time in Orchard Park, is going to be really tricky because the blowing snow is really going to pick up. And he said this is not so much an accumulation. Like, we're not worried that we're going to get 3 feet of snow. We're worried that that snow that's falling is really going to blow. We're talking 40, 50 mile an hour winds.
It's going to be blinding.
And it could really, prevent you from being able to see.
We've seen the wind pick up here as well. And this is not necessarily like heavy snowfall. This is also the wind. And again, we've watched this one camera in particular. It was clear seconds ago. Again, now it's almost zero visibility. So this is why you need to leave yourself some extra time as you're heading out this morning. You know, I told you earlier as well about the thunder snow in the city of Buffalo. That happened about 5:20 this morning. We heard it on the roof in downtown Buffalo, and a lot of other people around the city of Buffalo heard it as well. And if not in the city of Buffalo, beyond, I want to roll that video for you so you can actually see and hear for yourself what it looked like. Listen. Okay, so lightning comes, and then you get a crack of thunder there. Obviously, the camera doesn't necessarily love giving us pad time, but you get the lightning, you hear the thunder. The fact that you see the lightning, though, I mean, it's like a burst of light, and then all of a sudden it is just gone, and you hear the thunder.
Okay, I'm trying to address Elmir's question, asking about the 90 West. He's a trucker. He says already the 90 West in Erie, PA, closed for commercial. So I am not sure about that. I was looking really quickly. I'm going to touch base with New York State Thruway Authority and see what they can tell us about that. And we'll get back to that as soon as we get some more information.
Okay. So the other thing, Mark Polencar is tweeting a little while ago saying that the roads are going to be tricky this morning, asking that you leave yourself some extra time. He's saying that crews have been out all night plowing, salting. They're asking that you not clear the plow. And so here are some tips that he had this morning. Slow down, obviously, accelerate and decelerate slowly, increase your following distance, and know your brakes, whether you've got analog brakes. Keep the heel of your foot on the floor and use the ball of your foot to apply pressure on the brake pedal. See, that's interesting to me. Well, okay, and what a different story a couple of days makes. Here's the 90 at Ripley. This was the area that was snow-covered and really dangerous over the weekend. And roads are clear this morning. Now compare that to the 33 between Bailey and Suffolk. It's a completely different story. Aaron says the weight of the snow is causing tree limbs to droop and fall. Be careful out there if you're plowing.
So there was actually a notice that came out from Chautauqua County overnight. They were saying exactly that. Watch out because of the trees that could get covered in snow. They also mentioned potential power outages. So just keep an eye. I mean, like, look, you can see even on like this pine tree, for example, that we see here in this traffic cam, you can see that this.
What is that?
I don't know. Aaron just got an alert to his phone, I think. Sorry.
That sounds like the weather radio.
It does. It sounds like we're getting a weather. You know what? You stay here and let me just go see what that says.
Visibility here just improving in Williamsville. Wow, that's bizarre. I've never heard that before. Linda says you do a wonderful coverage, but what about the Olean area? Not mentioned much. So Olean looks like it's under one of those watches right now. And Aaron will come in here in just a second and give us a better idea of what to expect in Olean. We appreciate you, Linda. Thank you so much for watching. And then the 33 west to the 90 eastbound. John, can maybe we pull up one of those cameras so that we can get an idea for Elizabeth.
Okay.
What was that?
So that
Okay.
was a snow squall warning.
So that is our weather radio that we have, and it went off. And there's a snow squall warning now for northeastern Erie County as we deal with this heavy snow band rolling through the area.
Tell people what that means, snow squall warning.
It means it's kind of like a thunderstorm warning in the summertime,
Okay.
where you have this intense band of snow that's going to be moving through. Visibility will be greatly reduced. Travel will be extremely difficult. So I'm just getting the latest on it because I couldn't hear the end of it, but I'm going to read up on it here and pass along to you. Snow squall warning, like I said, just came out for northern Erie County. And let's see, here we go. In effect until 8:45 p.m. Northeastern Erie, Niagara, Orleans, Genesee counties. Snow squall in Niagara Frontier moving southeast at 15 miles per hour. Intense burst of heavy snow, gusty winds leading to blowing snow and rapidly falling visibilities. Winds gusting greater than 40 miles per hour. Source, radar, and webcams. Travel will be difficult and potentially dangerous within minutes in this band. So yeah, Amanda saying Clarence is a whiteout on the 90. So that makes sense because they just issued that snow squall warning for that area, including Buffalo, Rochester, Greece, Cheektowaga, NT, Clarence, and Lockport. Slow down in all caps they have right there. I just watched another accident kind of unfold on the 33 eastbound by the between Bailey, right by Bailey Avenue, going eastbound. They've got a number of police on the right shoulder there.
I want to bring in Nate Martin, who is Buffalo's DPW commissioner. He is out and about on the roads right now. You're not going to see his face. You're just going to hear his voice because he's obviously driving. But we want to chat with him, check in with him, and see what they're dealing with. Nate, good morning to you. Glad you're with us. Can you give us a sense of what you're seeing on the roads right now, and if there are any issues or places in particular that you're actually dealing with?
Yeah. Good morning, Ed. Yeah. Thanks for a little bit of time. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Perfect. So I'm actually on Colvin, northern part of the city at the moment. And, looking at the front windshield, no snow. But, just hearing the conversation you just had about the snow squall and the whiteout, we know that this is kind of moving through. So, even though I'm in a spot where very, very light flakes, I imagine, somewhat momentarily, I'll be maybe in some of those same whiteout conditions. So, that's the challenge, I think, for us, speaking of kind of what we're facing this morning, a heavy dose of snow, clearing roads, more snow coming, blowing snow. So it's a slow commute, no matter where you are. If you're on a highway coming in or in a city street or even one of the suburbs, it's a slow moving commute this morning. So, that slow down, use extra time, caution, give space to drivers in front of you, but really give space to the plows, all the municipal plows, county, state, city, doesn't matter. Just give them some space if you can.
Nate, you've had guys out throughout the morning. So what time did they start and what is the plan here? Are they hitting the main roads right now?
Yeah, they've been starting. I mean, we kind of have a rolling 24/7 approach, as a lot of municipalities do. So we've had equipment out all day, since the snow started, basically last weekend. So we kind of have a winter staffing model that has us 24/7. So we'll bring some folks in extra on top of that. So we've been hitting the roads early, salting before the snow hit. I think we got a good dose of it, a little after midnight. I woke up early. We got some snow, maybe a little bit before 5 o'clock in North Buffalo. So our team's out. They're moving through. But exactly what you said to get to your point. Mains and secondaries, we got to keep that traffic flowing. If you get snarled up there, you're going to be in a bind moving anybody. So we focus on those. But I just was on Main Street, heading up towards UB campus. One of our plows was on Main Street, and then boom, it turned into the residentials because Main Street was, relatively good at that point in time. So, and I say relatively good because snow's, continuing to fall all the time.
Right.
Nate, let me ask you this. Obviously, we're seeing accidents on the 33. We've seen a pretty significant backup on the 90 westbound near the 400 as that tractor-trailer jackknifed. But now we're also hearing about a possible tractor-trailer ban on the 90 in Pennsylvania. With your colleagues in government, what are you hearing about that?
Yeah, I have not been in contact with our counterparts yet in the state or the county about anything going on in the thruway. So I can't comment on that. We've really been just trying to focus on the city. But, after we hang up here, I'll make sure I get on the ring with them just to make sure we're tuned in. But, I think from our perspective, at least locally in the city, we're going to have the snow, and then we're going to have some winds a little bit later. So, but I think I'd heard earlier on that the blizzard conditions down in Erie. So that makes some sense to me that the 90s pretty concerned about traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually just talking with someone from the Thruway Authority, said not aware of any full closures in Pennsylvania right now, but there are restrictions in place for tractor trailers until further notice. So I'm going to get some clarification on what exactly that means, because we know that could impact so many people. Nate, I did want to ask you too, I know you have the GPS tracker for your plows. Yep. You were saying earlier you guys were going to try to get it going this time around. Yep. How's it working?
It's actually on and working. I will say we're in contact with the company, a couple tweaks. So, and I'll explain to kind of why I say tweaks. So I was driving Parkside not too long ago. Parkside had just been pushed by a plow. So I'm driving on pavement at that point in time. And I looked at our GPS system and one block was green and the next block, it didn't show that we were even there. Yet I drove it and I knew we were just there. So we're finding out why on just one segment of a street that it didn't pop up, because that's just not going to be accurate. So it's working. We're working on a couple tweaks in the background. Our MIS team and the company are on target to try to get that solved as quick as they can. But it's working. We want to show visibility, to the community. That's what that tracker is all about.
Nate, the focus also on the afternoon commute, because so many people are going to be leaving, and it's going to be much the same as it is this morning coming into work. What's the message for those folks, for businesses, for employees, and for city workers?
Yeah, I think it'll be probably the same consistent message that you've been delivering all morning, and really appreciate that. And as others have been delivering, use caution, right? So this is winter's here. We're still, probably many of us are trying to get our kind of, I'll call them sea legs back with driving in these slippery conditions. So, use caution, just give extra space and time. And, if you think you can stop, you hope you can, maybe you can't. And then all of a sudden you're in a fender bender. So just, try to avoid that as much as you can as an individual driving, to and from work, or if you're running errands or doing shopping for the holiday season.
Okay, great. Nate, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Want to let you know that we're going to be bringing in John Pilato from Lancaster in just a little bit. He's the highway superintendent there. We heard they were having some tough conditions out there, so we're going to check in with him in just a couple minutes. Want to check in with you first, because you're going to have to run and do a cut-in. So why don't you give us the information people need really quick before you have to leave? Sure.
We have the snow squall warning that just came out for parts of the area that includes central and northeastern Erie County, Niagara County, Orleans County, and Genesee County, as we have this band of heavy snow moving through that area. Travel will be very, very difficult in that snow squall warning as that squall passes through Buffalo, Clarence, Batavia, Lockport, Niagara Falls, over into Albion, so along Route 104, 31, the 990, the 290, and the 90 from, say, Buffalo to Batavia eastbound. It is going to go very, very slowly. The 190 up through Grand Island, then into Niagara County, all the way up toward Lewiston. We have the snow squall warning in effect. That's in effect until 8:45 this morning. I've been checking out some of the cameras, and what a mess on some of the main roads, including the 33 inbound, and as we take a look even at the 90 at Walden.
Aaron, briefly, for the people who've been asking about Olean, can you just address the situation there?
Sure. Olean, you have a lake effect snow warning in effect through Saturday morning. You'll start to see some snow as the day moves along, but especially as we get into tomorrow, that lake effect snow will really impact areas south of Buffalo, especially Chautauqua County and Cattaraugus County on Friday. Also, the winds, you'll see the winds kick up in Olean. They'll be gusting 30 to 40, almost 50 miles per hour. And like Nate mentioned earlier, there is a blizzard warning in Erie County, Pennsylvania. So if you're traveling from Buffalo to Erie or Cleveland, be prepared to drive very, very slowly, as they have a blizzard warning posted for Erie County in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so I'm also seeing some comments here about power outages in Cheektowaga, and this is the coolest thing about Second Cup, because you are our literal eyes and ears on the ground here, telling us what you're seeing, what you're dealing with. So because you told us, I went to NYSEG to see what's going on here. NYSEG has about 600 customers out of power in Cheektowaga. That started a little while ago. They're expecting to have power back on in the Cheektowaga area about 9:15 this morning. There are also outages in other parts of Cheektowaga. Same story there in Lackawanna, West Seneca area, about 100 customers without power. And then there are other power outages in East Aurora area. But really, it looks like Cheektowaga is the hardest hit in terms of the power outages there, with well over about 800 customers without power. So Aaron's going to go do a cut and kind of give us an update on the weather.
Okay, so question, do we want to bring in John, or are we going to wait until after Aaron?
I think we wait to bring in John after Aaron.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you'll be hearing Aaron's weather forecast, okay? And then we're going to bring in the highway superintendent from Lancaster, who's going to address some of these questions, because I see John, Connie is saying anything in Lancaster. Somebody else mentioning Bowen Road. I see John behind the scenes. He's waiting for us right now so patiently. So we appreciate it, John. He's waving to just us.
Okay.
So he's coming up in just a bit, but Aaron's going to get everybody updated on the traffic and the forecast first.
He says, thank you so much for answering my questions. Kay, that's what we're here for. That's why Second Cup is the coolest thing. You can ask us questions. We'll get you the answers. Lauren says, starting to snow again in Hamburg.
Yeah. How about Felice, who also said we were on Good Morning America this morning, and Ed and I were watching. It was that jackknife tractor trailer we were telling you about. They took the camera live, and oh boy, that's a terror. Oh my gosh, that the 33 West going into the city is looking really bad right now. Maybe John, you can bring up that traffic camera so people can take a look at that too.
Okay, we're going to pause here for Aaron.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are looking at traffic right now. Here's a view of the 33 by Grider, and notice almost like a parking lot. And we have accidents and slowdowns on the 33 going eastbound and westbound. Also, the 190 southbound by Porter, left lane is closed, and the 90 westbound still by the 400 going eastbound, and I should say 90 going eastbound and westbound by the 400 is still very, very slow. We have a lot of snow coming down. Roads are snow covered and very slippery, and we have a band of heavier snow with a snow squall warning posted for upper 40s, mid 40s Tuesday, some rain and snow returning on Wednesday. So you do have to go out today. Add plenty of extra time for your travels.
All right, so we apologize if you lost the sound for a second there. Aaron was live on TV, and then we had to get him back into StreamYard here, which is this program that we use to be able to do Second Cup with you right now. So you are looking live right now. Is this a 90?
It looks like it.
Yeah, I think so too. And you can see exactly where that tractor trailer was over to the side. So whiteout conditions really when you're driving in this area. We've been talking about Lancaster throughout the morning. So let's bring in the highway superintendent from Lancaster. John, good morning to you. You've been so patiently waiting, and we appreciate you joining us this morning. Want to ask you what the conditions are looking like in Lancaster and what you want people to know as they're headed out this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, I mean, it's tough just like it is all throughout the county. You know, it looks like there's about 8 to 10 inches that have fallen already. We just got another squall that came in. We checked the roads about an hour ago, and our crews have just done a remarkable job, to be honest with you. They've been out since about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Our last go about it, we were down to pavement about 45 minutes ago, but this squall is causing a little bit of havoc right now.
John, we're hearing that Lancaster is dealing with some snow issues, right? Not necessarily your guys on the road, but it's the fact that the roads, the side streets are kind of dicey, to say the least. That's what some people are saying. Janae here saying Lancaster is messy. What are you guys doing to stay on top of that?
Our guys have been out since, like I said, 2 o'clock. They haven't come in yet. And, it's a heavy, wet snow. It's tough to move. It's tough on the equipment. Our guys plowing salt. So as they're going through plowing, we're dropping salt, constantly for traction and to help with the melting. It's just been one of those snowstorms. Residents are going to have to be a little bit patient. As they can see outside, there's a lot of wind. There's some whiteout conditions that keep coming back and forth and covering the roads. But, I'm confident in our crews. They've been doing it for years. We've got through, 7-foot blizzards in the past.
Right.
So I'm confident we can get through this today. Residents just need to be patient with the weather.
Janae saying that it's Union and William right near Apple Tree that the visibility was really low, and because of those winds that you just mentioned.
That's West Seneca, though, isn't it?
That's Cheektowaga.
Okay.
That's Cheektowaga. Yep. I heard you guys mention something earlier about Bowen Road. That's county road. The county roads are tough to take care of, because the crosswinds. We've seen the county trucks out too, and the state. So, everyone's working diligently here, and it's tough to keep up with when it doesn't stop.
It's this blowing snow that really becomes the biggest issue, it seems like, versus snow that just falls and stays.
Oh yeah, it makes it difficult. The guys got to go slower. Not to mention this snow it's water laden. I mean, it's 30 degrees out, so it's very consistently wet. It's heavy, so it's taking us a lot longer to push. It's messy when it gets on curb lines and near driveways. There's really nothing that we can do to prevent that. It's Mother Nature.
We're going to check in with Bill Geary, who's Erie County's DPW commissioner, in just a second. John, you mentioned the county roads, so we'll get an update about those in just a second. I wonder if you can answer the question here from Jessica, though. Do you anticipate a travel advisory or a travel ban being instituted at any point today as a result of the snow squalls, the blowing snow, the whiteout conditions?
Well, I'm in constant communication with our chief of police, Bill Gummo, our supervisor Leary, and Ron Rosler, who's in charge of our OEM. Constant communication, and that hasn't come across us yet. We're going to try to fight through it. We'll see how conditions progress, and if it's something we need to address, we'll address it.
Great. And Kim also just saying, listen, this is a tough job. So thanking all of the plow drivers who are out there. John, just to remind people, if they come across a plow or a plow's in front of them, how do you want them to react? What should they do when it comes to potentially trying to get around, or are we staying back? What's the best way to handle that?
Don't go around. Don't go around. Let the guys do their job. Like I said, this is a tough snowfall. People are sliding everywhere. Give the crews what they need to do their job. And when people are creeping up on them, it just makes life difficult. Our crews have a plow driver and a wingman. That wingman is operating that wing, and he's constantly looking out for traffic. But in snow squalls and in blizzard-like conditions, it's tough to see. So, we just ask all the residents, give us patience. These guys are working around the clock, 24/7, when needed. They do an absolutely fantastic job for this town. Mother Nature takes its toll on us, and they just need to be a little bit patient. We're hoping it'll clear out, and when it clears out, we will address the roads and cul-de-sacs and tidy them up for everybody, and we'll get back to normal here. And if there's just one quick thing that I could add, this came from our chief of police. The parking ban is in effect. People we have come across some cars that were parked on the roads and on the streets, the side streets, and it makes life difficult for us. It buries the cars in. So if they could please adhere to the parking ban, it'd be appreciated.
All right, John, of course. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us this morning. Thanks so much.
Anytime.
Hope you guys all stay safe and take care.
Thank you
Aaron,
very
give
much.
us an idea. No problem, John. Thank you. Give us an idea of when the snow squall might start, where we'll see it.
Well, it's occurring right now. That squall is making its way through the area. We'll take a look at the radar. Let me get that up for you. And the band right now is moving through central and northern Erie County, southern parts of Niagara County, getting some heavy snow, stretching into a good portion of Genesee County and Orleans County. So South Buffalo to Clarence, Marilla, Batavia, Lockport, Niagara Falls, Amherst along the 990, the 290, the 190 up through Grand Island and toward the Falls, and of course the Thruway eastbound. As you make your way toward Rochester, you'll have that squall, and you will. It's going to be tough to see anything. Just had another accident come out 33 eastbound, right beyond the 90 in Cheektowaga. So we are going to be dealing. You'll have that, and again, there's multiple accidents on the roadway. What the snow squall is, it is a burst of snow, very similar to a warning like you would find in the wintertime for a severe thunderstorm warning. It's a line of heavy snow that's moving across these parts, central, northern Erie, parts of Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties, producing near whiteout conditions. Visibility is close to zero in some spots. You'll have winds gusting around 40 miles per hour. And like we said, visibility will be greatly reduced. The warning is in effect until 8:45 a.m. The band is moving to the southeast around 15 miles per hour, and rapidly falling snow and strong winds making for some extremely difficult travel. You can see the lens there on the camera of the 190 between the 290 and Route 266. You can hardly see a thing. If you look at any of the cameras on the 33, it is crawling along both eastbound and westbound.
Okay, so we mentioned northern Erie County seeing the snow squall and seeing some of this whiteout condition. I want to bring in Bill Geary, who is Erie County's Department of Public Works Commissioner. Bill, you joined us a little earlier in the show when we were broadcasting live on TV, and we certainly appreciate you doing so. I want to bring you in and talk about the update in the last hour or so, especially with that squall warning coming out. What are you seeing, and how are the roads looking this morning?
Hey, good morning, Eddie. Yeah, I just made my way north. When I talked to you earlier this morning, I was in the South Towns. I'm up right about that area that you were just talking to John about in Lancaster. Pulled over in a gas station, but Clinton Street right now is the dividing line from Clinton north. If you're anywhere east, the whole width of the county, including the city of Buffalo, visibility is because of the snowfall rates in the squall band are less than 100 feet at times.
Wow.
Yeah, really. Bill, number one, love that you call Ed Eddie. Bill Geary, friend of the show. Yeah.
Yes. We call him Edward. Yeah.
We go formal sometimes. Yep. Bill, wanted to ask you too, as people are headed out this morning, what do they need to know? And have you had any discussion about maybe any travel advisories, any travel bans taking place throughout the day?
Yeah, first and foremost, take your time. Give yourself a lot of extra time. Be safe. This is very heavy water laden snow. It's not light and fluffy, and it's if you're shoveling your driveway, take your time. Be very cautious about that. Get your car cleaned off. Don't be a carsicle driving around because you need your head on a swivel today. It needs you need all the visibility you can get. But driving bans, I think, due to the sporadic nature of these little bursts of snow in the squalls, I haven't heard anything. I've been in contact with the Sheriff's Department, New York State DOT, Dan Neverth, our office, dishes, and the county executive. And at this time, we have not had any plans to put any driving bans, but definitely have to give yourself a lot of extra time this morning.
Bill, I'm seeing that West Main Street in Alden is closed because of a down tree in power lines. Are you seeing this as a bigger issue? Because it seems like there are some power outages in Cheektowaga, especially. But what are you seeing in terms of like down trees, down power lines?
Yeah, that due to the weight of the snow, that's definitely the limbs on some of the trees are dropping. That came in about 20 minutes to a half an hour ago. Our crews are waiting for the utilities to get out there. They'll help clear West Main once we get the power lines out of the tree. But we were anticipating possibility of power outages with the high winds going until about 7 o'clock tonight. Fortunately, we haven't seen the high winds. Like I said earlier, it's probably about 15 to 20 mile an hour winds. It's the snowfall rates right now that are really limited in visibility.
And Bill, also a little bit later today is that afternoon commute. Anything that businesses, people can do to try to make that easier for you guys as we move ahead today?
Yeah, I would hopefully, we can get a staggered release at some point with some of especially in the real densely populated north towns and as well as the city of Buffalo. Just, not the typical 5 o'clock rush. If we can start, and limited from 3 o'clock on, or even if you can maybe go remote today, that might be an option for you. It's probably a great day to do it.
Bill, I'm also just reading an email from Dan Myers, who is the spokesperson or one of the spokespeople for the county, warning people to be mindful with the limited visibility and about clearing snow. Give us some advice here for the people who are listening. Obviously, this is common sense here, but you kind of don't forget your towel when you're going to the gym or you get out of the shower. Like, can you just give us those common sense tips here?
Yeah, the common sense is definitely, like I said, clear your car off. Don't drive around. It's not a badge of honor to show everybody in the north towns that you got 12 inches of snow last night. Everybody's getting it today. You need that visibility. Clear the windows off. give yourself a lot of extra time. Like I said, make sure your vehicle has gas, because you may get stuck idling, like we're seeing on some of the interstates with traffic. You have an empty tractor trailer, jackknives. You might be, stuck there for a few hours. So have a car kit, extra clothes, maybe some warm clothes, an extra charger for your cell phone, and just be prepared for the worst. If you take your time, all the roadways are well under speed by probably 10 to 20 miles an hour. That's fine. As long as traffic's moving, you'll get there. We'll keep the plows moving, but once we get to a point where we're not moving, the cars will, impede our plowing operations, but also we're not going to be able to get to other areas, and possibly first responders aren't going to be able to get where they need to go.
Well, and
Great
didn't we
point.
see that this morning with the 400, the
Mhm.
90 on the 400? Because, we saw, and I spoke to state police, all the traffic was stopping the police officers from getting to that tractor trailer this
Yep.
morning.
And it was just kind of at a standstill. Bill, we also saw the Erie County executive overnight saying we had a couple of storm-related deaths here, or snow-related deaths, as people were out and they were shoveling. I think it's another one of those common sense things that you just mentioned, to take care and be out there and do it slowly, especially if you're not used to doing this, which a lot of people haven't done this for about a year now.
Right. And we're the city of good neighbors. Take care of your neighbors, especially the elderly, but you might have someone that may not be feeling well. Help them out. Again, tag team this if you can. Many hands make for light work. And it's unfortunate that we have to lose residents due to strenuous activity like shoveling. But our Erie County Health Department, I know their webpage, they have some great tips on there come winter on how to address some of this in the strenuous activities. But the other thing I'll say too, just with the traffic, don't forget to use NITEC. They're a great resource. They have
Hmm.
cameras everywhere. In NITEC,
Hmm.
you can really track where all the snow is almost instantaneously. We use it for situational awareness, but NITEC, Athena Hutchinson and her team over there do a great job. And they're also our core, getting all the municipalities, the state DOT and thruway authorities, City of Buffalo, Lackawanna. We get on group calls and discuss strategies. So there's a lot of resources out there, especially at your fingertips if you're at work today or at home.
Bill, talk to me about some of that strategy that you guys are implementing right now with your partners in government. What is the conversation about the thruway, about shutting things down potentially by the Pennsylvania line, or what's going on in Pennsylvania? Because we're hearing that there might be some restrictions when it comes to those tractor trailers. What's your conversation been with your partners in government?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, Ed. What we're doing is, we in times like this, I mentioned it before, empty tractor trailers have very limited traction, a littlest incline, sometimes even slipping on level ground. Jackknife tractor trailer, like we saw this morning, really snarls and affects the whole system. So if we can keep the system moving, and that's everything from the state to the local system, we'll be prepared. We're trying to keep a heavy doubling up trucks on some of our beats. We have over 40 plow trucks. We have 32 beats. So what we're doing is actually adding a couple extra on some of those main roads, like the Seneca Street in West Seneca, Abbott, South Buffalo area. In case the 90 does have to restrict some traffic, we're prepared for some of that heavy traffic. We always see it down in the town of Evans and Angola. Fortunately, right now we're not getting any snow down there, so the crews have been out really trying to scrape, get everything out there. We have extra pieces of equipment. The thruway, they always have tow truck operators. They have heavy wreckers as well as New York State DOT. And those are the communications that we're having, making sure all the assets are in place if need be.
So speaking with someone from the Thruway Authority today, they were saying, listen, in Pennsylvania, they do things differently than we do it here in New York. So they have, and if you're a tractor trailer driver, I'm sure you're familiar with what this is. It's a tier 3 restriction that's in place, basically saying this is a loaded single trailer with chains. It depends on kind of what you're driving. So it sounds like those guys would know what it is, but they do have some of those restrictions in Pennsylvania, but not here yet.
Bill, any final thoughts for us this morning?
Again, just be cognizant of the weather, the ever-changing conditions. The north towns are getting hit now, but the afternoon commute, it could definitely be from the city south. You could go into some very limited visibility. Just give yourself extra time, take it slow, and be prepared for the worst, and hopefully make it a safe day. And fortunately, this is winter weather in Buffalo. We just have to get back acclimated to that, and not these 1-2 big storms a year.
Bill Geary from Erie County's Department of Public Works. Bill, we really appreciate you being flexible
again,
and giving us all the information here.
Yeah, no, thank you. Good morning, and have a great day, Eddie. We'll see you. Go Bills.
Go
Yeah,
Bills.
go
We'll
Bills.
see you
You know
later.
it. Yeah.
He's so
Do you
funny.
think it's different to say go Bills when your name is Bill?
It might be.
Just gives it like that little extra.
Aaron, I want to address Tom Maynard's comment here, because while we're focused so much on Erie County, which is obviously the most populated county in Western New York,
Yep.
and so much of that snow squall is moving through northern Erie County, the southern tier is also facing so much snow for the last week with that lake effect snow warning.
Yes, and that warning will continue for areas south of Buffalo, like South Dayton, Cherry Creek, Cassadaga. Cassadaga will continue to add to their very impressive snow totals. We have the lake effect snow warning for southern Erie County and Wyoming County. That is in effect through 4 a.m. on Friday. For Chautauqua County and Cattaraugus County, a lake effect snow warning through 4 a.m. on Saturday. And a blizzard warning for Erie County and Pennsylvania. You heard Bill talk about that. South of Buffalo, places like Cassadaga, Cherry Creek, South Dayton will pick up another 6 to 16 inches of snow. Those areas will be on the higher totals. That's now through Saturday morning. So expect snow, especially to ramp up off of Lake Erie later today and into tomorrow for Chautauqua County and Cattaraugus counties. Elsewhere, you have the winter weather advisories in effect through 4 a.m. on Friday for another few inches of snow, but the big weather story will be the winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. We also have that snow squall warning for central, northern Erie County, Niagara County, Orleans, and Genesee counties as this burst of snow is making its way through those areas. That snow squall warning is issued now to warn folks about a burst of moderate to heavy snow with strong winds, reducing visibilities greatly, making for some very difficult travel. Very similar to a severe thunderstorm warning that you would see in the summertime. We now have snow squall warnings, and it's issued, and that is in effect until 8:45 a.m. for those counties.
So, Aaron, we actually have the highway superintendent from Clarence who's going to be joining us. Before we bring him in, can I just ask you, what are they seeing right now? I see them right in the middle of your map here.
Where, in Lancaster?
Clarence.
And Clarence. Clarence is really under the gun with that snow squall moving through. Heavy snow, greatly reduced visibility, is probably a quarter mile or less. And that band is moving off toward the east. It's going to be, the warning's in effect till 8:45. Doesn't mean 8:45 the snow is going to, go off. So expect it to continue beyond that as that snow stretches all the way back toward Niagara Falls.
It's funny because I look at the radar and that's what I always think.
Well, I know.
Not the case.
Before we get to James, can you also answer the questions of what tomorrow looks like and when does it stop?
Okay, so tomorrow, Buffalo northward, partly sunny, a few flurries, temperatures in the upper 20s. South, especially Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties, more lake effect snow. Not as windy tomorrow, but still a cool breeze for your Friday. And then that snow continues into Saturday with some light snow across the area. Sunday, we're back in the 40s. A lake effect snow shuts off on Sunday. Then our attention goes to rain on Monday.
All right. Aaron, thank you. So again, you see Clarence right in the middle of the radar right there.
Yep.
Getting hit right now. We have the highway superintendent with us this morning. Jamie Dussing is with us. Jamie, thanks so much for joining us. How are things looking there? What are you seeing outside right now? And what do people need to know?
Well, things are looking pretty much what you exactly showed on the screen a little bit ago. We are in some intense bands, and it's right over top of us and has been since about 4:30 this morning. We have all our trucks out, 12 trucks and 12 routes. We're not making a whole heck of a lot of progress, but we will be out at it all day long until we get cleaned up.
James, we're seeing Athena's comment here on the screen here about schools being closed sooner. We know some schools in the North Towns are still open this morning, but there are other schools around the area that are closed and made the decision yesterday. What have your conversations been with schools in Clarence about closing or staying open?
Well, we have been in contact with the school system yesterday prior to any accumulation. Elementary school and the middle school in Clarence are closed today due to teacher conferences. So we're pretty confident the big kids can find their way to school.
Someone was actually asking about that, the parent-teacher conferences out in Clarence, and they were saying, I wonder how many parents are going to be able to get in today. I'm guessing your recommendation for them is just play it by the weather and maybe have to reschedule if you can't make it in today.
Yeah, that's really up to them. This is Western New York. We do get weather. We're early in the season, honestly, to be taking snow days. The lake is warm. It's wide open. We're going to be dealing with the potential of school closings all year long. Mm-hmm. I personally don't see the need to close school today, especially when probably over half the district for elementary schools and the middle school are closed. So I'm fine with the decision that was made by the school superintendent. And, we generally work well together. And we are in good communication.
This is an interesting comment from Anita. And James, I'm glad that you're with us because, the cool part about this is that we can take the questions and really bring them to you. And, frankly, you're the guy with the answers here. So we appreciate you taking the questions. Anita says, I don't understand why all schools aren't closed. Staff travels from all over and why risk it? But realistically, it's snow, right? I mean, we just need to leave ourselves a couple extra seconds. I mean, where do you stand on this?
Well, I'm with you. You have to leave yourself a little bit of extra time, and no matter what channel you watch or where you get your weather reports. The closing statement is always leave yourself a few extra minutes this morning. All of your vehicles should have snow brushes and all necessary supplies that you need in case you do get stuck. But you got to leave extra time. You can't be in a hurry on a day like today. With the weather forecasting that we're seeing in general. Even the blizzard a couple years ago, well forecasted. This event, well forecasted. I mean, almost down to the hour. So this is certainly nothing new to Western New Yorkers, and I don't see why there's any debate.
Interesting. That is a really interesting point. And, it's really important that we share voices on all sides. And I really do appreciate having the conversation more than anything, because really I think it kind of clears the air about why schools might be open or why schools might close.
Well, and we also have seen a big difference, too, when it comes to the North Towns and the South Towns schools.
Yeah, Casadega with almost 5+ feet of snowfall, they're going to be closed. But, with Clarence and Williamsville, you're not as congested, too, in a place like Clarence. Maybe the kids have to stand outside a little bit longer. But as mentioned, it was a well-advertised event. I certainly appreciate you saying that, because we've only been talking about it. That Thursday's morning commute would be messy and schools will be closed for several days now.
We also should point out that a buff alert was just sent out moments ago saying heavy snow this morning in Buffalo Metro, falling at 1 to 2 inches per hour, wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour, poor visibility with blowing snow, use caution with driving. The thing is, though, Buffalo closed its schools last night, but in other places it's still open. James, give us an idea, a sense. What would it take to have to close the school?
Well, I think on a day like today, where you have all these parent-teacher conferences already scheduled, I think it would be pretty problematic to reschedule them.
Sure.
And you find the time to do it. So it's not like they're going to give the kids another day off to reschedule these conferences. I think most parents, and I'm a parent myself, would just prefer to get it over with, get it done. So why reschedule and put ourselves through all of this? It is what it is. Like I said, I don't think there's any true danger as long as everybody takes a few extra minutes. The bus drivers have to get used to this kind of driving in these kind of conditions too. As I said, it's December, beginning of December here. We got a long winter ahead of us. So, we just all got to prepare and do our best. And, getting people used to winter driving skills, including the bus drivers, is a key to success. And believe me, come midwinter, towards the end of winter, what we're seeing out there today will be nothing. We'll be like, we won't even be talking about it because it's just another day.
We do go through a lot of this every winter, it seems like. Jamie, before we let you go, anything else that you wanted to let people know? I'm thinking maybe particularly about that afternoon commute. Bill Geary from Erie County had mentioned maybe staggering if you have a business, maybe let people go a few minutes early. Just your thoughts on what you'd like to see people doing as we move throughout the day and then into the afternoon.
Yeah, I think Bill Geary and myself, we beat the same drum as far as giving snowplows and snow removal equipment, the proper amount of room. Our trucks say keep back 200 feet, and that's a true statement. You need to keep back 200 feet. You don't want to get caught between another car behind you and a snowplow making a maneuver or backing up or something like that. Right now, the conditions in Clarence, I don't anticipate any need for any emergency dismissals or early dismissals or anything like that. Just take your time, make sure your car is cleaned off, your windows are clear, your defrosters are doing their jobs, and take a slow ride home. There is not going to be a problem, even if we're in the conditions that we are currently.
James Dussing from the Clarence, is it Highway or Department of Public Works?
We're the Clarence Highway Department.
Love
Very
that.
good.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for joining us. We appreciate it.
No problem. Everybody have
Stay
a great,
safe. Have a great day.
safe day. Thank you.
I appreciate the insight of what
The
the thought
honesty,
process.
though, too.
Yeah.
You know what? Sometimes when we hear from officials, we don't.
Oh, they're so
get,
canned.
Well, and
yeah.
they don't.
Like-
Truly, but you know what? What I appreciate is that he's lifting the curtain for us.
Yeah, it
and
was
he's
great.
giving us a legitimate behind-the-scenes view, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, well, there is, all of this discussion that goes into whether or not we make these decisions. You're part of it a lot of the time.
Hold on, we got to do a cut in though. So, what time do you need to go on the air?
I need to go in about,
3:27.
well, yeah. So I'm going to walk over and get everything ready in a few seconds. But I did want to, do you have a quick question?
No, I was just mentioning you.
Yeah, I do
sometimes
consult
with-
them because and I kind of say the same thing. Like, it depends on where you are. Like Buffalo schools,
Right.
absolutely. We have snow, strong winds. A lot of kids have to walk. It's close. Boom, that's easy. Clarence, it's more of a busing. And he said if we start in Williamsville, they don't really want to close in December because we have a lot of winter left. Like officially, winter hasn't even begun yet.
Right.
So I can see both sides. And, like as a parent, I'm with him. Like, my son's in high school. I want you to go to school today. And so they had school.
You
And things
mentioned
could-
he had a test too.
Things
so.
certainly could be worse.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a winter weather advisory. We're looking at the 90 between the 33 and Walden right now. You're moving slowly as you're going to be across the area. And it's just how it's going to be off and on throughout the day today.
Okay, so I want to just kind of let you guys know what's going to happen now. We have about 50 more seconds, and then Aaron is going to be live on TV. So you're going to hear Aaron doing his forecast, and we're going to make sure you might not see exactly what he's talking about, but you're going to hear his forecast and his travel report. So you'll be able to hear all of that, and then we'll show you some of those travel cameras as well.
Okay, John in the booth. I want to make sure that you can hear me. I'm on the party line. Can we get somebody from Cheektowaga on? Possibly, or maybe somebody at the desk can get us somebody from Cheektowaga so that we can address the comments
thank
about
you.
Lawson and Union. It would be really great to get some information there. So let's pause so that we can listen to Aaron.
Wow. Okay.
He hasn't got on TV yet, so just hang tight. But we're still going to pause and listen to him.
Good morning, everyone. What a mess on the area roads this morning. Here's a view of the 33 by the 198 that is inbound. They finally have the accident moved, so we are starting to move just a bit. But you have congestion on the 190 southbound from, say, Porter all the way back toward exit 14, which is Ontario Street. 33 inbound, a lot of congestion. You're seeing that right there on the screen. And the 33 eastbound had congestion beyond Harlem Road to the 90 as they tended to an accident that was kind of in that curve as you make your way toward the airport. So a lot of issues this morning with a lot of congestion across the area, but it looks like all the accidents have been cleared. So hopefully we don't see any more. Looking at the radar, we have the snow coming down right now. That is some heavy snow too, especially in northern Erie County, southern Niagara County, Cattaraugus, Genesee County, and Orleans County. So these counties right here, the heaviest snow coming down right now from Clarence over toward Amherst by the Blue Water Tower as this squall moves off toward the southeast at around 15 miles per hour. Right now, snow in downtown Buffalo, 28 degrees, winds out of the west at 14 miles per hour. So it feels like it's 17 outside, 28 in Buffalo, 33 in Niagara Falls, 25 in Jamestown. Check out these winds, 25 miles per hour in Niagara Falls, 33 in Dunkirk, 51 in Erie. So winds will increase as the day moves along. Snow and blowing snow, another 1 to 4 inches of snow, Buffalo northward, 4 to 8 south, the high of 34 degrees. Tonight, overnight lows near 20 with blowing snow, another 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. A lake effect south of Buffalo on Friday. Some more light snow on Saturday. Milder for Sunday and Monday with highs in the 40s. But we will have snow and blowing snow off and on throughout the area today.
Okay, we're back with you for another half hour of live coverage on a special edition of Second Cup. We're glad you're with us to start the day. Certainly looking to make sure you and your family stay safe as you're heading out on this snow-covered Thursday morning. A couple of updates I want to pass along. Number one, I'm checking in with NYSEG, and I see that there are more power outages as a result of the winter weather that's rolled through here. About 2,000 or so customers without power this morning. More than 1,100 of those focused in the village and town of Alden. That's in addition to what we're seeing in the town of Cheektowaga, where about 800 or so customers are without power this morning. The town of Cheektowaga and the village of Cheektowaga. Is there a village of Cheektowaga?
No.
I think it's just the town of Cheektowaga. We're expecting power to be on within the next 45 minutes or so. But in the town and village of Alden, we're expecting power to be back on about 10:15 this morning. Crews are assigned, they say, but there are also outages in West Seneca. There are also outages in Hamburg. And these are all NYSEG customers. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that for you throughout the day as well in the East Aurora, town of Aurora, Elma, Marilla area as well.
So want to let you know, too, this is about the first time throughout the morning that NYTEC has not reported any official incidents. So when we say that, we mean accidents on the road right now. Our producer, John, can pull up some of the different cameras, too. Things are starting to move along. The plows have gotten out there. They do have congestion. So they're reporting congestion on the 190 South, 33 West, 33 East, but no specific incidents. We've been watching, for example, earlier we had a jackknife tractor trailer. So there's the congestion you're seeing. But what they're trying to tell you is they're clearing these accidents, and then it's just a slow go as everybody's backed up from that.
So somebody had mentioned in the comments about Cheektowaga in particular, about Lawson and Union having to deal with some backups there and officers being out there directing traffic. Cheektowaga Police Dispatch telling our producers this morning, everything's been resolved and cleared there and traffic should be clear soon, but they have rectified whatever was going on out there. I'm also checking in with National Grid this morning to see if there are any power outages there. They're seeing about 1,300 outages. Specifically, it looks like in the Cheektowaga, Lovejoy, Kaisertown area. No word on when those will be restored from National Grid. It looks like a majority of those customers, actually, I take that back. I'm clicking around the map here. I'm zooming in here so that I can actually see where this is. We're talking in the Eggert Road area, Davidson Avenue, Hastings, Campbell Road, Cedar Road, Southgate Road, Allendale Road, just south of Cleveland Drive. It looks like that's where the majority of the power outages are for National Grid. About 1,300 customers there expecting to have power back on within the next 15 minutes or so. But we'll monitor that and keep you posted.
Well, lucky us, we have a parent with us this morning. And Aaron, you just got an alert just letting people know if they're in the Williamsville district that they've got some traffic. That
I thought you meant your mom or my mom. We're joining.
No, we have them up enough.
So Williamsville schools just sent out a mass text to everybody saying, be advised that buses are running 15 minutes to 1 hour late due to the weather. Thank you for your patience. So if you have a child, most of the middle schools go late. So after they drop the high school kids off and then the elementary, circle back to get the middle school kids. And they start around 8:30 or 8:40. And so those middle school kids, just heads up, they could be waiting for 15 minutes to 1 hour due to the weather conditions.
I spoke with the superintendent in Williamsville a little earlier this morning, Dr. Darren Brown Hall, a good friend of mine. And in his communication, he said that they are planning to stay open today. So it's kind of a similar situation in Clarence, where we know some schools are open today, others have parent-teacher conferences.
Yeah. And we talked about it too with him. If you are uncomfortable having your child, like you have a middle school student and you got to go to work and you're like, hey, you know what, bus is late, go back in.
Sure.
And you know what? You can read and catch up tomorrow.
Well, and you know what? A lot of the busing in Williamsville too, having grown up kind of in the area, and you have kids in the area, so a lot of the buses are able to actually go to the doors, like to the actual houses. In Buffalo, a lot of kids make a little bit of a walk there, and even in Williamsville, if you're like going down a court or a cul-de-sac or something like that, I have a feeling the bus driver will, take a look and see if they're coming out. They're not going to have you wait outside.
And like in Buffalo, some are getting on the, NFTA buses as well.
Yes.
Some of them have to make multiple stops. So that's, it is different in different areas. Kim saying in Evans, snow coming down sideways, wind turns, snow going the other way. We had winds out of the south earlier. Now that front passed through, and now the winds are more westerly. So we have seen the snow kind of switch around. And with the winds increasing, like I had mentioned, we're getting a number of power outages. Combine that with the heavy weight of this snow, because the snow has a lot of moisture in it. It's not that light, fluffy snow, although it will become a little less dense as the day moves along. So it's going to blow around a little more easily. But it's kind of weighing on the branches and the power lines, and that's why we are seeing some power outages across the area.
Really interesting, Katie, that you mentioned that there really hasn't been much in terms of accidents in the last several minutes. This is, again, the first time all morning that we've seen this. There's still
congestion for sure, right? But we're seeing accidents being cleared.
That's a credit to the people who are out working this morning, out clearing the roads, the tow trucks as well. But Aaron, in terms of the delays, I mean, this snow is just requiring us to drive slower.
Yes, and I was looking at the airport too. They've got a number of departure delays. Because of the snow, there's a winter weather warning, airport weather warning that was in effect. That's slowing down air travel there at the Buffalo airport. So as we're looking right now, that is a view. They'll have to tell us what that one is. That looks like the 190 at 190 at Tiff Street. Route 5 at Tiff Street. So very slow go along the water. The winds will be the strongest along the Lake Erie shoreline. So your weather headlines for today: cold front passing through this morning, producing this burst of snow, and also increasing our winds. Winds will be gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour late this morning through this afternoon. Blowing and drifting snow will be an issue all day today. So we don't want to get too hung up on snow totals, as we will be dealing with the blowing and drifting snow, blowing the snow around. Blizzard warning for Erie County in Pennsylvania. So if you see that on social media, it is Erie County, Pennsylvania through 1 a.m. on Saturday. Lake effect snow warnings from northern PA, Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties through early Saturday for lake effect snow to really ramp up south of Buffalo, especially later today and tomorrow. We have the lake effect snow warning in effect for southern Erie County and Wyoming County through 4 a.m. tomorrow. Winter weather advisories elsewhere for Allegheny County, northern Erie, Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. A few more inches of snow combined with winds gusting near 50 miles per hour. That's in effect through 4 a.m. on Friday. Here we go with the snow right now coming down in Buffalo, kind of on the back edge of it up in Niagara Falls. Again, that warning, the snow squall warning in effect until 8:45 for Erie, central northern Erie, Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. As the snow squall continues to move eastward, you combine that with the heavy winds, strong winds, and that is producing whiteout conditions at times. So just be very, very careful in that snow squall as it moves off toward the southeast at around 15 miles per hour. Some of the heaviest snow, the darker shades of purple right there, Amherst toward Clarence, Bowmansville, Williamsville, Cleve Hill area, all those areas under the gun this morning.
I want to pull up Jackie's comment because this is actually kind of a great idea for parents that might be in this situation. She was saying Hamburg is only supposed to have a half day for their parent-teacher conferences. Canceling then wasn't a huge deal, but she says, I feel for the teachers who are still doing conferences over the phone. So I wonder, for some of the areas that people are saying, maybe I'm not comfortable driving in, or maybe I'd rather, stay at home. Maybe you could do that. Call the school and try to see if you could get on the phone with the teacher. Not a bad idea.
Transitioning to work from home is a lot easier since the pandemic. So hopefully we had a lot of people at our 5:15 time slot there where we do the similar situation with Second Cup. And hey, if your office lets you work from home, today's a perfect day to do so. Right. It's going to take you forever to get into work. You're going to be worried about the weather all day today. Just stay at home and stay out of situations like this. The 290 between the 990 and Millersport. There is, it looks like a fire truck on the scene right there. They got a car kind of facing the wrong way. That's a very, very, common area where we see some accidents. You have the left lane that's covered in snow. The right lane's okay. That center lane is iffy. And, people are sliding out.
So we're talking about traffic here. There are significant delays all around the area. NITEC reporting the 190 southbound between Ontario Street and Porter Avenue, which is a distance of about 2 miles, is delayed this morning. They're facing significant congestion there. The 33 eastbound and westbound, the 33 westbound between the 90 and the 198, that's about 3.5 miles congestion there. The 33 eastbound between Harlem Road and the 90 in Cheektowaga, also facing congestion this morning. So again, you're right. I mean, this is going to be an all-day affair. This isn't going to stop at one point or another. We're expecting a messy afternoon commute as well, which is something that Autumn's been talking about and we'll be tracking throughout the day too.
Yeah, definitely. Mary Beth's here at noon, and then Autumn will be in here. Josh is working behind the scenes, updating the web throughout the day. So we've got 4 people on staff keeping you posted. And watching what's going on. I'm looking at the 290 right here. So they're moving the camera around. Looks like from the cameras to the 290 eastbound. So that's what it looks like. We just found this accident. the NITEC isn't even on it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're not in the advisory section, but it does look like as you approach the 990, that's where you're dealing with that accident just beyond that. Perhaps someone slid on the entranceway to the 290, but all the roads are snow covered and very slippery this morning. And you're going to most likely be, if you are traveling, you're going to be going well below speed. And if you have any travel plans today, just add extra time. If your kids are home safely, be glad, because this is the situation across the area this morning.
See the comment here about the NFTA getting some delayed routes here. I don't see anything on their social media, on Twitter, but we can certainly text their spokesperson here and see what the deal is.
You know what?
Yeah.
While you're doing that too, just
Look at that.
letting you know, because now we're getting really backed up here, because of course it's an entrance ramp too, right where that happens. Want to let you know too, if you got a flight today, or you know somebody who's got a flight today. I'm just taking a look at the big board at the airport. So like departures, for example, there was one supposed to leave 7:45 that departed, but we had one to Chicago, a Southwest flight to Chicago delayed. Okay, a JetBlue to New York delayed, a United delayed to Michigan. So we're seeing a number of different, some are still going as scheduled, but they're not till like 10 o'clock. All the ones in this 8, 9 o'clock hour are delayed for the most part right now.
Okay, Mark telling me he got the alerts in his email.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I was just checking their website. I didn't see anything there, but I just texted Kelly Khatib and Helen Tedderis, who both are in the communications department for the NFTA, to see what routes specifically are delayed, because Mark's not the only person talking about it. See, I didn't see anything on their website, Mark. I gotta be honest with you. Unless I'm not looking in the right spot. Public Information Center here. Let's see what the deal is here. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. Bus and rail here. Okay, so here we go. Here are the metro alerts for the bus alerts. Of course.
Oh, here we go. So you click on the metro alerts, and then it lists all the different buses. And like one says running about 15 minutes late, running about 20 minutes late, running about 15 minutes late. So, okay. Number of buses that are running a little bit late this morning. Good to know, Mark. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Maybe we should subscribe to those. That's probably a good idea.
There you go. Marguerite saying, is Taylor not out in this right now? Poor little thing. I actually, while Aaron was doing his forecast, I ran into the newsroom really quickly and I saw her come back in. So she's back in from the weather.
Okay.
Just so everybody knows, she was out there all morning.
I know that this is one of those things that we're going to be covering for you throughout the day, especially with the afternoon commute coming into focus. Yeah. That's going to be the next concern here. So as we go throughout the day, keep in mind that if you can leave maybe at lunchtime or a little bit earlier, stagger your dismissal today from work, that might be an option for you.
Dennis, I see your comment here about forecasters not mentioning South Cheektowaga, south of Broadway from Union to Transit. Folks in that area would like to know how the weather's going to be affecting us. As soon as Aaron comes back in, we'll pull up the maps and we'll have him take a look at that for you. So that won't be a problem. He's happy to do that for you.
Tell us what you're seeing there, Dennis. I mean, what is it? I mean, are you seeing snow squalls? Are you seeing whiteout conditions? You're our eyes and ears here when it comes to what's happening on the road. I want to show you what it looks like in Batavia as well, because I think this is really indicative of what other places are seeing between, Genesee County, Wyoming County, out east. Here's what it looks like in Batavia this morning with those snowy conditions. I mean, look at the railing there falling at a couple of inches at one point, or a couple of inches falling total. This is from Trezana, and we appreciate you sending that in. Tina says, thank you for keeping us informed, watching from the Doubletree in Jamestown.
Tina, what are you seeing in Jamestown? Looked like you guys were getting a lot of snow earlier. Wondering how things are looking now. Here it is around 8:43 or so.
I am hearing ginger in my ear.
Yeah, me too. I had to just take it out. Sorry to our producer, John. We just all of a sudden started hearing ginger, so just know that. Let's see here. Dennis says, thank you again. He says it's snowing lightly there right now, so maybe Aaron can take a look at that South Cheektowaga area and take a look for your afternoon.
Look at this. Paula says, my son left at 8 a.m. for Batavia. He hasn't arrived yet. And, Batavia is not a far distance. Paula, where are you coming from? But the reality is people are just driving a lot slower than they typically do. We're seeing delays on the throughway, and of course, with the whiteout conditions, it's just making travel that much worse.
We had a specific question for you if you don't mind.
No, don't mind at all.
So Dennis was mentioning the area in South Cheektowaga, so south of
Okay.
Broadway from Union to Transit. Folks in that area would like to know how it's going to affect them. He said right now snowing lightly, but I think we're looking towards like this afternoon. What should they expect?
So this afternoon, you'll have these, once we get this big squall through, we'll have the light snow showers off and on throughout the day. And the winds will be the big story. So a couple more inches of snow, most of that falling this morning. And then we're in the low 30s with winds gusting 30 to 50 miles per hour. So expect some rapidly changing weather conditions as the day moves along. I'm looking at the radar right now. That's kind of showing Buffalo on the back edge of this snow squall. And then as you make your way toward Cheektowaga, we still have another 15 to 30 minutes or so of that snow coming down.
So Paula says they're in North Cheektowaga. So North Cheektowaga to Batavia, typically 30 minutes, the throughway the entire trip. And so here it is. I mean, it's been about 45 minutes or so. And it's taken a little bit longer to get there, 15 minutes later than normal, but obviously going a little bit slower.
Can we just bring in the coolest video that we've had so far this morning, which was the thunder snow?
Oh,
because I know we were talking about it earlier. And so we were sitting here and we're doing the show live. And all of a sudden we heard thunder, and then you were able to catch it on a camera.
Well, you're like, what's the exact time of the thunderstorm? I'm like 5:18.
Well, you gotta
and I
scroll back
knew
in
something
time.
was going on. Yeah, yeah.
5:18.
Yeah.
So our producer John is going to bring that video up. If you didn't get to experience the thunder, so like maybe you were asleep, you're going to see the lightning and then do a little count, and you're going to hear the thunder afterwards. It's really kind of cool.
It is cool.
Okay, so obviously it's there's lightning.
So like that thunder was really loud. I mean,
Close.
we heard it through the station, like, and okay, yeah, you hear the thunder in your house, but like the station's kind of well insulated at times, and we've got the show going on, and all of a sudden all three of us are like, what was
Look
that?
at each other. We're like, holy
Yeah.
cow.
And then this one over here is going, thunder, snow.
He was excited about it.
Oh, very. I'm excited you caught that too, so we could see it. I mean, you counted a couple of seconds and it was there, so it was pretty close. You can tell it's close because if you're far away, it kind of rumbles like,
Yeah.
But close, it's like boom. So you were right there,
And-
capturing it for us.
Oh, you know what? That's our job, right? Anita says thunder snow last night too. Carol says I live off Borden near French, and we
Nice.
are plowed out. See, that's great. See, Cheektowaga, West Seneca, it seems like they're on top of things this morning. We spoke with Bill Geary from Erie County's Department of Public Works. He said that Clinton was really kind of like the cutoff line for where they were seeing the heavy snow and snow squalls. What are you seeing now? Because we know that snow squall warning, Aaron, was supposed to expire at 8:45.
Yeah. I actually was looking at the cameras. Well, the 290 going eastbound is just a mess. We had issue at Sheridan, at Millersport, and before the 990. As I was also looking at that snow squall warning that was supposed to expire at 8:45. Let's see if they've updated anything. At 8:43, a new, no. And it looks like that warning has expired in Erie County.
The snow squall warning.
Yeah, the advisory remains in effect through tomorrow morning, but the snow squall warning just ended at 8:45. We still have the snow coming down, obviously, and that band continues to move eastward, but travel between Clarence, Batavia, Elma toward Attica, moving very, very slowly with some heavy snow right now. But like I mentioned, downtown Buffalo, you're on the back edge of that snow, so the snow will start to dissipate here in Buffalo in the next few minutes. Same thing with Hamburg over toward Lake Erie Beach, but the snow pretty heavy still from Wales to Attica and Batavia. Bigger picture showing the weather advisory in effect through 4 a.m. on Friday for northern Erie, Niagara, Orleans, Genesee, and Allegheny counties. There is that snow. It is a wintry mess across the area. We'll have the snow showers off and on Buffalo northward, and lake effect snow really ramps up south of Buffalo as the day moves along.
Aaron, when is like the next movement for Buffalo and kind of like the metro area? Like when I was calling this patches before. When does the next
next
round
patch
move in kind of?
Well, I can't zoom out because I'm here at the set, but probably after around lunchtime, we could have another burst through early this afternoon and toward the evening commute.
Okay, so it's going to be a little bit quiet for a while. The plow drivers are going to be out hitting this, but that's what they were saying before. Then when those winds pick up, that's when the issues come because the roads just get snow covered again. Whether or not they were plowed.
It's really, as the day moves along, it'll be the winds that are going to increase. And like I mentioned, gusting 30 to 40, almost 50 miles per hour at times. You have a 40 mile per hour wind gust with fresh snow on the ground. That is going to, cause a lot of problems with blowing and drifting snow throughout the day.
There's
Okay, so-
David saying Williamsville's out plowing the side streets right now.
There you go.
Mhm.
A couple of things I want to update you on. I want to update you on the airport, and I want to update you on the power outages. So I'm looking at NYSEG. The majority of those power outages seem to be in the Alden area, town and village of Alden, right around Broadway and Route 20, which is right on the Erie-Genesee County line. So we're monitoring that. That's expecting to be on about 10:15 this morning. Power expected to be restored about 10:15 in the Alden area. In terms of the airport this morning, there are a significant number of delays, and this is new video coming in from the airport. Obviously, these planes having to de-ice at this point. Michael Wooten's actually at the airport, and he's telling us the runway at the airport is closed. But I want to run down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, almost 24 delays this morning. I'm not seeing anything canceled just yet, but obviously when you see those flights delayed that were supposed to leave around 8:15, 9:45, you know it's going to be a little bit of a domino effect for those later flights as well.
So we're hearing they just said on the intercom at the airport, the runway's closed, no flights taking off or landing. Conditions seem to be improving. That could change soon. Plow trucks out on the runway, would you say? And then, we just saw, as everybody's been telling us, this squall that went over Cheektowaga. We heard a lot of people joining us from Cheektowaga telling us, hey, the weather conditions were really bad there, although they're starting, it looks like, to improve.
We are on the back edge there, so we'll start to improve. You had that airport weather warning as well. I mean, if there's an airport in the world who can clear snow quickly, it's the Buffalo one. But when the snow is coming down the way it is and the winds the way they are, they can't even keep up with it.
Okay, and Paul is saying, remember, she was telling us that her son was traveling out to Batavia. Update from him, 45 minutes on the thruway. He just passed the Pembroke exit, and he was coming from the Cheektowaga area, right?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Sorry,
So if you want to go back to the radar,
Pembroke, 45 minutes.
Yeah, we can see where that band of snow is right now as it continues to come down. Buffalo on the back edge of it. Where that little snowflake is, that's where Cheektowaga, the airport, is. So the heavier snow is kind of winding down. Some light snow there for the next half hour or so. Still heavy snow from Clarence eastward toward Batavia and Attica. And Shonda, it's bad if our airport has delays because they do a phenomenal job of keeping things going. You are 1,000,000,000% correct, Shonda. When you see that, you know that the snow is coming down.
Well, because let's also face it. I mean, if there's a snow squall in this area, I mean, it's not just difficult for you driving. You've got to consider the people who are plowing as well, and the people clearing the runways, the people who are salting the runways, the people who are de-icing, and the pilots.
The ones who I want to be able to see the runway, those guys. There's a number of delays this morning, and hopefully they can move things out pretty quickly so there's not a huge backup, because it does trickle then to the rest of the country when we have our delays, then it backs up to other airports, and it just makes for headaches across the area.
So, hey, as you're headed out today, maybe you're just going outside to shovel a little bit. Do us a favor and snap some video or snap some photos or take some video and send it to weather@wkbw.com.
Yep, I just checked. We have a number of pictures, which is great. Sorry, I haven't been able to put them in the show. It's just been so crazy this morning. But weather@wkbw.com. A lot of you in that 4 to 8 inch range of snow overnight into this morning. Send us the pictures. Hopefully if the kids are off, they can make a snowman and enjoy their day off.
It'd be nice to have some of those fun pictures too.
Yeah,
we also love dogs in the snow. Those are some of our.
You get one of those. I want to trying to get into the system.
Nice.
I'm just looking at the FAA's website here because we're talking about the airport in particular. It says that Buffalo is de-icing, but that was starting about 20 to 7 this morning. Aircraft departing from Buffalo are being sprayed with de-icing fluid to remove snow and ice. But does that mean that the airport is going to reopen anytime? I don't know that it's officially closed either, but certainly this is one of those moments where we're monitoring what's going on in Cheektowaga.
Literally have somebody at the airport who told us, hey, they made this announcement.
Right.
So just know that, especially if you've got a flight this morning, keep an eye on your.
Is he trying to go to a warmer place, I'm assuming?
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego.
Yes. Here's a live look on the 290 at exit 6. This is Sheridan Drive. Again, traffic is moving slowly, but we're seeing those deteriorating conditions in terms of visibility.
Still in that area by the Blue Water Tower, it's a slow go. Amherst along the 290, the 990, snow covered and very slippery. Those north-south roads, as the day moves along, will be difficult to travel on because the winds are coming out of the west. You are driving and then you hit maybe an open area, a clearing, and that snow comes across the road. So you can go from pavement to snow covered very, very quickly. So just heads up on that.
Hey, Aaron, do you mind taking a look at Route 16, Yorkshire toward Machias, how that's looking?
Yeah, let me step away and I will zoom into that area.
And that's what it's all about, Sarah. This guy's able to do it for you. So let him pull that up for you.
Yorkshire, so we're talking near Lime Lake over here, Machias. Yeah,
Yorkshire
that's right.
near Machias, going toward.
Right now, 16 is catching a little break with some more snow to your west. So right now you have a little lull, but you're going to have a little burst of snow coming in the next few minutes.
While we're doing that, we're also looking at the airport incoming flights. We've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flights that are delayed from Boston, Washington, New York, Baltimore, Chicago, Charlotte, all delayed at this point this morning. It doesn't look like anything coming into Buffalo has been scheduled. And those flights that are already in the air from Detroit, New York, Fort Myers, Orlando, and Tampa are expected to land on or close to schedule. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, because you want to know what? A lot of people actually are flying in and out this time of year. Like this is the time those snowbirds say goodbye to us for a little while.
You know from experience?
I've heard.
Listen, we do this every single morning at 8 o'clock on Facebook Live and our WKBW app. So if you're joining us for the first time, especially when it's not weather, we often just talk about the day's top stories. We want to make sure that we're connected to you and you to us. So we get to talk back and forth and just have a conversation about what's going on.
I got to get ready for the next cut in.
Okay, that's great. And
we enjoy that conversation.
Another
as well.
perfect example is that question that Sarah just asked. She had a very specific question about a specific area. Aaron's able to go take a look. We have the time to be able to do something like that when it comes to this show.
So again, we're going to pause for a moment and probably say goodbye to you while Aaron does a weather on TV cut in, as we call it, during Good Morning America. And we should let you know that we're going to be back today at noon doing much of the same thing here, trying to keep you in the know and answering all of your questions.
Can I say, too, my favorite line from this morning was from John from Lancaster, the highway department there, when he mentioned that all the plow drivers have a driver and a wingman.
You're my wingman, right?
No. I thought, boy, that sounds familiar. I've been waiting the whole show to say that. No, we really appreciate you being here with us, and hopefully we're able to keep you in the know and keep you updated when it comes to this stuff.
Love that. Thank you, Anita. We appreciate you. Let's pause for Aaron as we say goodbye.
Okay. Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. Obviously, things are moving smoothly across, or slowly across the area. Here's a view of the 290 by Millersport going eastbound. An accident looks like on the ramp with all that snow on the ramp, trying to get onto the 290. So it's a slow go, 290 eastbound and westbound with the snow coming down. A little burst of snow near the Blue Water Tower right now. We're on the back edge of the snow here in Buffalo, so conditions are improving from Buffalo through Grand Island up toward Niagara Falls, but still some moderate to heavy snow stretching from Clarence all the way over toward Batavia and Attica, Marilla, Wales, getting some of that heavier snow right now as it continues to move off toward the southeast. But things are improving as far as snow coming down in the north towns, but winds will be strong, blowing the snow around, and that will be reducing visibility as the day moves along. You see the snow on the 290 from the 990 toward the Blue Water Tower, but just the west of that, conditions are improving. Currently here in Buffalo with cloudy skies, 30 degrees, winds out of the west at 12 miles per hour, 34 in Niagara Falls, 26 in Jamestown, 29 right now in Erie. Wind gust of 48 miles per hour in Erie, 36 in Dunkirk, 24 in Buffalo, 33 miles per hour in the Falls. Winds will gust around 30 to 50 miles per hour throughout the day. Your forecast for today, snow and blowing snow, another 1 to 4 inches Buffalo northward, 4 to 8 south, temperatures in the low 30s. Winds out of the west, northwest, 15 to 25, gusting 30 to 40, almost 50 miles per hour at times. So blowing snow will cause the most issues as the day moves along with the drifting snow and reducing visibility. So for tonight, overnight lows near 20, more blowing snow, another 1 to 3 inches of accumulation. Lake effect well south of Buffalo on Friday. Then on Saturday, we're in the low 30s with some more snow in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy, mid 40s on Sunday, near 50 on Monday with rain likely.